Well, now just relax, okay? Just relax, okay? I know the question that you've been asking yourself. You always ask yourself, like, hey, I try as much as I can. I work each and every time, but I don't know exactly where does the money hide in this great country of ours called Kenya, okay? And what exactly can I do to access that money? If that's a question that has been lingering deep inside of your head, then this is the time to watch this video to understand exactly the 5 places where the money hides in this great country of ours. All right? Okay, let's get into the point. But before we do exactly that, there is something I want you to do. I'm sharing this information to you for free. I'm not charging you nothing. The only thing I want you to do, that's a return of favor, is to like this video. Just hit that magical button. It doesn't even cost you a second. And then there is that subscription button, which is a small one. It is in black. Hit those 2 magical buttons and let's get into the business. I don't want to waste your time, okay? Also, time means money. Let's get to the business, okay? Point number 1. One place where the money hides is usually called what? Complaints and what? Problems. Simple. That's what I mean. Money hides where there are complaints and where there are what? There are problems. Let me tell you one thing before you start crucifying me. Money is always a reward given after solving someone's problem. Okay? Now, this is the point. Money hides where there are complaints and where there are problems. And let me just explain to you. Very simple. Right now, as we speak in this country of ours, people are complaining about the skyrocketing of price and cost of living, right? Stretching all the way from unga, from food, from transport to whatever. People are complaining, all right? So what does it mean? You see, people complain where they usually put a lot of their money each and every time. So you hardly will you ever hear people complaining where they don't put their money. Have you heard people complaining about the prices of motor vehicle, the cars, and all those kind of things? No, they don't, because that's not where the populace, that's where the majority are. That's not where the people put much of their money in our country. Remember one thing: Kenya is a developing nation. All right, what does it mean? People are still fighting and struggling with the basics: the food, the shelter, and the clothing. What does it mean? If you have money, you can get into the real estate. If you have some cash, you can get into the business, be it the clothing industry, fashions, and what have you. You can get your business into food and what have you, because Kenya is still complaining about the 3 basic things: the food, the shelter, the what? The clothing. Now the point is this: complaints and problems. Don't complicate the issue. What are they complaining about? Now channel your money towards that area. That's for a fact, all right? Because if you solve their problems, then you'll get the money in return. The formula that you have been applying, don't be ignorant. The formula that you have been applying into getting money, it's wrong. Why? Because you usually get into the market with a selfish mentality. It is me, I want to make money. I don't have much. I want to support my family. I want to support my mother. It's about me. Come on, it's not like that. People don't care about you. That's for a fact. People don't care about you. For example, let's say maybe you. By the way, did I tell you guys I used to do the interior design? I used to paint. So, and I remember I used to have a very funny formula of actually trying to get a gig in a job. We go to a construction site and I say, "Hey, hello, my name is who. I would like you to give me a job," and all. So you argue from the point of selfish, point of it's me now who want money, it's me who doesn't have a job. And the other mistake that you guys do is to go to a job where you're telling people, "Oh, I'm an orphan," or I come from a very humble background. You know what? I've been struggling in this Nairobi. I've been stop. Stop. What you're supposed to do, listen to the ground. Listen. What they're complaining about, that's where the money is. All right? So the point is, where there are complaints and where there are problems, they are complaining because there are problems. Now, what do you do? How do you get the money? Simple. Offer the solution. How? It can be force you to start a business. It can force you to go out there, solve their problem. It can start all those kind of things. All right, so listen to what they are complaining about, identify the problem, invest on that problem, and then move to the next level. And by the way, that's why you find most of these NGOs, they usually come in this country and they offer I say in quote, they offer these solutions. And let me not get into that. All right, it's okay. Now let's get into the next point, where money hides in this country of ours. B is usually called what? Trends. Have you ever heard of, or have you ever seen a guy who usually prints some T-shirts after there is a certain trendy word? For example, you say Sinamaoni. The guy takes some T-shirts and prints something like Sinamaoni. If you ask somebody how did you get successful, they say ni God manze. Now the guy takes some T-shirts, plain T-shirts, and prints that names ni God manze. I mean, the trends. You see, Kenya, there are always these times when you hear or you hear something that is trending out there, and people actually making some money out there. For example, you might find some individual who is starting a business based on the trends. For example, if there is Azimio and there is whatever, the guy starts that kind of a business. If there is something trending, nilikuwa nimewarn people to, I mean, so you can make money using the trending things at that particular point. Sometimes not only words, but also situations and occurrences can actually trend in our country and can actually be able to make you a substantive amount of money. And by the way, it's quite amazing that, whenever something trends in Kenya, you usually find even international people reacting to that specific thing. And if you can be able to tailor down that to our own specifics and be able to make some cash, you can actually go ahead and do that specific thing. For example, you may realize that is something that is trending. Although this is not a sustainable way of making money, because after the trend has actually, it's over, then you are out of market. So what exactly can you do? Is to identify that occasion whenever the thing is trending, capitalize on it, leverage on it, make as much as you can, then wait for the next one. Because the problem that people make is to get something that is trending, get something that is making them money. They don't adjust and don't change with time, and then after some time, they get faced off in this life, okay, in terms of the business. For example, have you ever met these guys who usually take photographs and whatever from these beautiful gardens of ours? If you're in Nairobi, akina Jivanjis, akina whatever, you find these guys taking new photos and what have you, passports and those kind of things. You see, these guys have been doing that business like forever and forever. It's like they don't adjust. Nowadays, for example, on the weekends, if you go to Nairobi in those streets, you find there are wonderful young guys who have these akina softbox lights, and they have good cameras. They are taking people professional, pictures and what have you. So if I were you, who would you go to? Would you go to the old wazes, the boomers who are just taking things with a certain kitamba at the background, taking you a photo, na umeficha ka camera mahali sijui who will you go? Or will you go to that professional photography where they even have the lighting, they have those soft boxes, they have those trendy things? Where will you go? All right, you should go to where the trend is. So if there's something trendy, for example, I've seen that in Nairobi, in the streets of Nairobi, people are taking photos every time they tell you, hey brother, would you mind take a photo? I think it costs 100 bob, all right? And if you can bargain yourself down, you can be able to get yourself a very professional photo, even if you want to. And by the way, they don't even print those photos; they just send you to a soft copy, which you can even send it. You can save it in your Google Drive, which can stay there years and years. Come on, what am I trying to say? It's the trend things. If you can connive that, if you can be able to do what, if you can be able to actually leverage on that, then you can be able to make some cash as you progress to the next level. All right, so the point is this: if you have a phone out there, it's a good phone. It has some, some better megapixel out there. And I understand most of young guys nowadays, they usually have a very nice phone. The only thing you need to grab is a soft box, cost like around 6,500 or something of sort. Then you get yourself into the street, you make some cash. I also saw some guys who are actually shaving people, even on the streets, and we call them the mobile, what do we call mobile barbers and all those kind of things. I mean, trend, move with the trend. That's where the money is. Please don't complicate the process. Don't complicate the process. Now, the number 3, we go to something called general what? General entrepreneurship. General entrepreneurship. Okay. Now, what do I mean by this? This entails any business, any engagement as far as the entrepreneur is concerned. Okay. This can stretch all the way from normal businesses to investments to services to anything and everything. All right. So that's where the money is. Remember one thing: never let this get out of your head. What? Kenya is a developing nation. All right. Soon we will get into what we call the emerging market. Then the next time we'll get ourselves to the first world, okay, or developed economy. The fact remains, if you can get yourself into variety of things. For example, let me tell you one secret about the money and the thing. And I used to have a very tough time understanding this concept, but I thank God now I do understand it. Whenever you hear a nation is complaining much, then it means that there is much to be done. That's for sure. Well, I'm not saying that those developed nations don't complain. They do. Actually, I was watching some videos and guys are complaining in America, in Ontario, USA, and what have you, are complaining about, the cost of living and what have you. But the point is this: if the much they complain about is way less than what we usually complain about. That's for a fact. See, we complain all the way stretching from the roads, from infrastructure, from electricity, from water, to nothing and everything. All right? What does it mean? It means that there are a variety of opportunities that we can get ourselves into. I'm not a prophet, but I can foretell. Right now, as we speak, there is a large, a population of people who are getting off the country to go make some cash, to come back into this country, invest. And that probably, I'm seeing it as a point where where we'll be at the greatest wealth transfer that gonna happen in the next generation that is coming. You see, they usually sit down and talk about the Maumaus who fought for the independence of this country. That's how our children will be talking about those guys who went to Gulf, they made money and came back to Kenya. For sure, for sure, for sure. Take this to your basket if that's what's gonna happen one day. So what's my point? My point is this: right now there are a variety of areas where you can actually tap and be able to leverage on them and make some cash out of it. All the way starting from, for example, nowadays, Kenya is known for what we call, throwing party, is known like, a crazy animal party and something of sorts. So it's an area that you can be able to pick. Things to do with beauty, things to do with food industry, things to do with services, like interneting, like, working online and all those kind of things, all right? Have you heard some people saying like, let me not get there. Let me not get there. All right. So the point is this: right now you can grasp, some variety of things that you can invest into, and therefore be able to make some cash out of it. So what do I mean? General entrepreneurship that you can get yourself into. Right now is the best time to develop that app that you've been thinking about. Right now is the best time to develop that website. Right now is the best time to develop that specific thing that you know and believe that can actually solve people's problems in future. That may not give you the money today, that may not pay your bills today, but rest assured in an year or 2 or 3, you're gonna get yourself somewhere. Right now is the best time to get yourself into the content creation, leverage on that specific thing, monetize on your services and the skills, and therefore money will not be a question of if, but a question of when. Right? Let's get into the last one. Oh, not last one, but the fourth one. The fourth one is actually what? Talents. And I know you are actually looking forward to me mentioning this. That's for sure. Right now, if you ask Kipchoge or Kiptum, or you ask Kina Kosgei and all those guys who great athletes, Akina Omanyala, if you ask them, what is the greatest asset they have? They tell you, it's my legs, or they're my legs, or they're my abilities and talents of what I can be able to do. Right now, you're seated out there, you have a talent, you can be able to sing. Are you trying to get some gigs from those clubs at the evening, whereby you can become somebody whom you can do what we call, is it sort of a karaoke or something of sort, whereby you just in front of those guys who are enjoying themselves, you can give them some sweet melodies and songs and what have you. You're good at doing the guitars and what have you. You can run, you can do something. I mean, seriously, you see, I think the very genesis of the time when we were created, all right, for those who believe that we were created, is that we were designed to rely on our talents, on our abilities. It's only that the system came in and told us, hey, guess what? You can shelve all that what you're good at now, get through this system, you emerge as a teacher, you emerge as a lawyer, you emerge as a doctor, and all those kind of things. All those abilities. The system produces abilities, but the nature produces what we call the talents. And there is something that is easier to make money from or with, is using the talents than the abilities. Because the abilities, you need to have somewhere where you can disseminate your services for you to be paid back, with respect to time and what have you. But when it comes to talent, you can just do your thing. If it's about singing, you can just sing from wherever you are. You post those videos, people say, wow, you have good whatever and all those kind of things. They start giving you some gigs and what have you. You are a good public speaker. You have that, charisma, the aura to speak to people. Start making those videos. I know you are wondering like, okay, how will I make money out of that? Just make them. You never know who is watching. That's for a fact. When I started making content, I didn't even know who will watch. If I tell you the number of gigs that I've gone through, you wouldn't even believe it. Some people I've met in life, you wouldn't even imagine that I could have met them. You see? So the point is just do the thing that you do, that thing that you're talented on, combine it with the ability, that what you studied in school. That's it. You have a very good concoction that can actually take you all the way to a point whereby you can be able to make some cash at the end of the day. That is exactly what we do, right? Now, let's get to the last one. The last one is about general population, or the population. This is where the money is, population. And I bet you'll be like, okay, fine, Joseph, you've been talking about population like all the time. It is true. I've been talking about people, because the money that you're looking for is from the people. So there's no way you can eliminate people or individuals from the equation of getting money in this country of ours. And it's not only limited to Kenya, but also the entire world. People, whenever there is people or wherever there is people, that's where the money is. Remember one thing, we don't make money. Government do, because they print the money. But what we do, we take money from people on a positive note, in a legal way, offer solutions to them. They give money in return. That is exactly how we make money. So what's the point? Whenever you go and you meet there is no human being, then that is the worst place you can ever be as far as the making money is concerned. But wherever you go and there are human beings, then that's where the money is. It's as simple as that. All right? Guess what? That's the end of my video, but don't forget, it's not the end of me posting a video each and every day. If you don't want to miss any of my good videos in the future, do this. Doesn't cost you anything. Down below there, hit that magical button written subscribe, and also like the video. Comment down below, tell me what you think. And don't forget, you can as well grab my number from the description of this specific video. Let's talk business. I got booklets about investments. And if you would like me and you have a seat and a conversation, take that number. Let's talk business. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.